Earlier today, Chinese President Xi Jinping discussed the situation around Ukraine with French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. He called on his European counterparts to take into account the security concerns of all countries and respect their sovereignty. The Chinese leader called the conflict in Ukraine alarming and called for maximum restraint, stressing the priority should be to prevent the situation getting out of control. He also noted that all three countries should support a peaceful resolution of the conflict, noting sanctions would slow down global economic growth, benefiting no one. Let's cross live now to Benjamin Chow, professor at the Paris School of Technology and Business and Southwestern University of Finance and Economics. Welcome to the programme, Benjamin.
Hi.
What is China's latest position of the government towards the ongoing conflict in Ukraine?
China is again calling for diplomacy. From the very famous book, The Art of War, it said it is best to force the enemy to surrender without resisting. The best war plan is to win with strategy, followed by diplomacy, followed by destroying the enemy in the wild. The worst is to siege the enemy cities, and this should be the last option. While now Russia seems to be trying to avoid the last option, the US seems to be using the first option of strategy now. And for China, knowing all these by heart, today Chinese President Xi Jinping talked to the French and German leaders, urged all sides to use diplomacy to resolve the conflicts. And China already promised earlier on about sending humanitarian aid to Ukraine shortly. China has been worrying about the Chinese inside Ukraine also. As you said, he called for maximum restraint to prevent a large-scale humanitarian crisis, urged the two sides to maintain the momentum of negotiation, and he re-emphasized China's position, already explained by China's representative to the UN and also the foreign minister these few days, which is that China supports the safeguarding of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states, and to ask them to abide by the UN Charter. But equally important, China asked that the West has to face strictly at Russia's security concerns, especially about the east expansion of NATO, and asked them to engage in equal-footed dialogue with Russia for a balanced, effective, and sustainable European security mechanism.
Mm-hmm. Well, China obviously understands Russia's security concerns surrounding NATO's expansion. But is China concerned by NATO's expansion, and would it affect its international interests?
Well, in fact, people are saying that the West is building a NATO version in the East already. The Quad, the AUKUS, and all this that you can think of. I think China has repeatedly said that all these strategies of the West and sanctions and so on are not really winning the hearts of many people in the world. If you look at the sanctions this time to Russia asked by the West, we see that actually about 80% of the world's population have not joined the session so far. Countries like India, Pakistan, and also the ASEAN countries, maybe except Singapore and the Middle Eastern countries, and most of the African countries are not joining the West to sanction Russia. Perhaps they have seen not just Ukraine, but how many people have already died in the wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, and so on. They are seeing the double standard of the West on such strategies. Today, China also asked the US to explain the 26 biolabs Pentagon allegedly controlled in Ukraine. So I think people really need to be concerned about the backlash of these economic consequences.
Okay. Well, Benjamin Chow, professor at the Paris School of Technology and Business and Southwestern University of Finance and Economics, thank you very much for your insights on China's position in the Ukraine conflict.